hello, good afternoon. Happy Friday the 13th of June. Welcome to today's class. It is Celebrate Together, the workshop slash scrapbook and card class where we do alternatives with the workshop kit. So when you guys get on, say hello, tell me where you're coming from, tell me what's new in your world. I'm just fixing my camera a little bit here. It looks a little wonky. How is everyone doing this Friday afternoon? It's been a crazy morning for me already. I've been at work and then I had to run some errands and I dropped a kid off at a friend with his bike, and then I came here and my phone's been ringing off the hook. So hopefully my phone won't be beeping in on us. I think I have my volume down. So let's get started. Hello, Miss Angelique. How are you, hon? So I was here on Monday already, and it's no, Wednesday. I don't know what day I was here. Monday. No, Wednesday. Okay, I had to look at the calendar. Sorry, guys. Hello, Mary. And we did technique class, and it featured rub-ons. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with rub-ons, but they were quite the thing when I first started scrapbooking and getting into my paper crafting world, and I have oodles of them. Lots that I haven't used, you know, all those unwritten projects that you were going to do but haven't gotten done. And I know when Christine made her Be Happy Stampers, or the Be Happy Guide, that product was overlooked. So in the annual catalog, you'll see on page 124, over here on the bottom, are these cool metallic rub-ons, and they come with 8 sheets with 2 designs, and they come in silver and gold. So what we did was did cards with those. So here's how they come. You get 2 of the, how do I say this? 2 of the same design in both gold. So you get 2 sheets of gold, 2 sheets of silver. Like this. So you'll have 2 of these and 2 of these, and you'll end up with 4. So you've got 2 of these in silver and then 2 of these in silver. So 4 of that in silver and 4 in gold. And these are super easy to use. I don't know how many of you have used rub-ons in the past, but in the past you've had to use like popsicle sticks, your bone folder, and you really had to work rub-ons into your cards, and you don't have to do that anymore. These go on super easy. So they were really fun to use. So these are the 4 cards we made. Hello, Miss Carmen. Happy Friday. And you will get 2 sheets in this class. So there's 4 cards that we made, and you'll get a sheet of silver and a sheet of gold. The class is $24 plus shipping, so reach out by Wednesday the 18th if you are looking or wanting kits. My label is wonky here. You used to hate rub-ons. I will tell you, Janelle, you will totally change your mind when using these. These were super easy, and they stick really easy. So one thing I will say is be careful where you put your fingers when removing the backing, so that pieces of it don't get stuck on your fingers and not on your project. But they stick really nice. This one here didn't stick as well, but I tried to do a technique where I put it on the ribbon. I was really hoping these rub-ons would stick on to the ribbon, but they didn't. And maybe a different ribbon would have worked. I used the white woven ribbon, but it didn't work. I was really sad. And I even took my bone folder. I was going to use my heat tool and maybe try that too, but I didn't want to like start a fire because I could have done that too. So we'll just say that it did not work for me, but if anyone has any luck, let me know. But it's going to work great on vellum. It's going to work great on your window sheets, things like that. So if anybody wants kits for these and you want a taste of, you know, trying out rub-ons, so you'll have 2 sheets and you'll have lots of leftovers to play with. So without investing in a whole pack. So reach out to me. And then today's class, we are going to play with Celebrate Together workshop kit. And I will say it was so much fun playing with this. I probably say that every month, and I know I did last month because last month was a completely different, we used Weekend Adventures, and Weekend Adventures was more of an outdoorsy, you could go camping with it, you could go hiking with it, just being outdoors. So that one was really fun. But this, I think the colors really spoke to me. I love bright, bold colors. Here we've got Daffodil Delight, Strawberry Slush, Berry Burst, Timid Tiger, Little Fresh Freesia, Old Olive. So lots of really fun colors in this set. And these were the projects that Stampin' Up! Designed for us to use. And of course, we're going to do some alternatives because why follow directions, right? That's kind of my motto. Don't follow the directions. Be bold and go on your own. Hello, Polly. How are things in Carolina? So we've got some really great layouts for you today. And I'm so excited because one of the layouts that we did, I did a starburst technique, and I have never done that. I mean, starbursts have been around for a long time, and it's not something I've ever really incorporated, except when we had a starburst die for a while, and I did stuff with that. But other than that, I've never done my own starburst. So we're gonna do that today, and I'm super excited. So without further ado, let's get stamping. And we're going to start with cards today, just because that'll help clear up some space for me along the way. Anyone have any exciting plans for the weekend? We have a busy weekend. We will be at the farm a good portion of the weekend, and we have a robotics competition. So it's going to be a busy weekend. Oh, and I need to take out, before we get started with this card, we have to pull out 1 sheet, actually, probably 2 sheets. I should have done this earlier, and I didn't. So I'll pull this all out. Hello, Shelly, welcome. Oh, you've got a cloudy 84. I would take a cloudy 84. I will tell you that. Wisconsin weather here has been a little up and down and gloomy and kind of cool at times. So here's our sticker sheet. And then you also have, this is what I was going to do when I got here and I got distracted, having to do some other things. So you've got your sticker sheet, and as always, our die cut sheets. And then there's also a sheet in here that has all these different templates. And we're actually going to cut these right away because we use these in our cards. So I'll show you how to cut this. Oh, you've got some line dancing party tonight and kayaking on Saturday. That sounds like a wonderful weekend of fun. Hopefully the weather cooperates for your kayaking. So when you cut this, I am going to cut this top part first. I shouldn't say top part. This is my top part. So where these line up, I'm going to cut this here, like that. And I'm going to cut this strip off on the bottom. So there's this yellow and white strip. And then we're going to come over here and cut, there's a strip right here. We're going to cut that off. And then we'll go through and I'm going to take just a smidge more. There we go. So I know that we're going to use this one. And we also use these two. So we're going to use this, I think this is Secret. We're going to use this strip here. So we've got these two panels and this one for sure. Also our little wine bottles. And I also use this purple journal piece here. So you will have all of this left over to do whatever you want, whether you want to add sentiments to this, turn these into cards, or incorporate them into your scrapbook layouts. Okay, so we're going to set those aside, and our first card uses this floral piece here. And we're going to trim it down just a little bit. I didn't, oh, here are my measurements on the card I didn't make yet. So we're going to cut this down to 3 3/4. So we're just taking this little scallop piece right here. We're just taking that off. Now you could keep that and do something with it. I'm going to toss it aside. And I think that's all the cutting I need to do for now. So we'll bring in our card and we'll burnish our edges. We're using crumb cake here. You're going to have two pieces in this kit of white that are exactly the same. One for the inside, one for the outside. And we have a piece of the polka dot DSP. You could use this piece, the yellow side, if you would like. I love this yellow side. So we've got that. And then you're going to cut with your own. So in your kits, what you have extra or a lot of was going to be, or I didn't use it, it's completely up to you. You're going to cut out this piece of strawberry slush with your two-tone. So this is the two-tone. So you're going to cut that out of your 12 by 12 sheet. And this piece here is going to go over the top. So we'll put our mat down. And then I am going to pop up this layer. Christine must have brought the garbage can back. When I was doing my live on Wednesday, I kept reaching down for the garbage can, but there was no garbage can there. And I'm going to put this slightly to the left, not dead center. But if you would prefer to do it in the center, that's fine, completely up to you. So when I create these kits, when I redo them, I'm losing my words today. You also get, so, okay, I should back up a little bit. When you order these kits, okay, rewind, wow. So, in order to get this class with me, you need to place a $70 order. So, in that $70 order, you can, if you have this kit already, you can order $70 of whatever you want. If you don't have this kit, you order the kit and then whatever else you want in addition to it. And then I create an additional kit for you. For you ordering from me, you will get all of these extra pieces to add into like your scrapbook pages and on your cards. You get your card bases, insides for your cards, things like that. So I include an additional kit. It'll come with gems and ribbon for you ordering with me. So that's kind of the deal with ordering through me and getting the alternatives, is that you'll get an additional kit from me. So I need to find my little white label here. Here it is. Janelle, you are going to a big parade in Frankenmuth. I love Frankenmuth. Yes, it is a famous town. Bronner's Christmas store, that is, so I went there as a child. I was a teenager, and it's kind of funny because I had this picture of us in front of the giant Santa that's there. And I don't know, I was going through those photos one time and I said, I want to take my kids there someday. So we did. We went there. I'm trying to think if it was 2018 or 2009. I think it was 2018 we took the kids there. And so of course I have my picture in front of Santa and they have their picture in front of Santa. And of course I think Bronner's is still considered the world's largest Christmas store, if I'm not mistaken. So that was fun to walk through. So I'm bringing in Unbound Love, and I'm going to pull out the Happy Birthday from that. And then I've got another little fun story for you guys. I forget how, so let's see, if we went in 2018, my little guy was 8. And obviously we don't get out much, but we also we kind of did a whole Michigan loop. We did the Ford Museum down in Detroit, and then worked our way up to Frankenmuth and Mackinac Island. And while we were on Mackinac Island, you know, there's no automobiles or anything, so they do everything by horse out there. And we get off one of the horse carriages, get off at our stop, and the lady makes a comment on there that be careful not to jump in puddles here because they're not necessarily puddles. And as she explains that, a horse takes care of his needs there. And my poor little guy's face, he's just like horrified. Needless to say, if I had known that that would have worked sooner in life, that he realized that that could be horse pee, I would have told them a long time ago that not to jump in puddles because it could be from the horses. So that was kind of funny. And then we took them to, I think it was not Copper Falls, but I forget, Chiquimanon, I don't know how to pronounce it right, falls, and the water is kind of that coppery color, and his sweet innocentness. So we're just wrapping our ribbon on the back of our label. He just shouts out, "Wow, Mom, that's a lot of horse pee." So that was a good laugh. Those moments with kids, sometimes you never know what they might say. And he has always been our little comedian, so we truly never know what he is going to say. So now when you guys see horses, you guys can think of that little tale and my little 8-year-old boy thinking that was pretty amazing. And Maybe if this can help you with any of your kids of your own or grandkids to keep them out of puddles, just tell them that story. So we've wrapped our ribbon on, stamped our sentiment, and then we'll just attach this off in the corner here. Oh, you live only 45 minutes away. Oh my goodness. Well, I might have to make a stop again out that way someday, and maybe I'll have to come visit you, Janelle. I just remember when I was a kid, just how amazing it was. The whole clock tower and the little show that it would put on a couple times a day. Just definitely a very different town. Very cool stuff there. Okay, so here's our label here. We'll put that slightly off center. And then in your kit will be the new iridescent gems. So we're using that for this kit. Oops, this one's missing. The sticky did not come with it. So there we go. Okay, so we'll set my goodies aside here. Let's stamp our inside. And I'm just thinking here, this would be cute. So usually when they come out with a scrapbook workshop, they also come out with a stamp set that coordinates. And this is the stamp set that coordinates with it. And then I also brought in cheers and sips because I felt that that kind of coordinated with some of the elements in that, being that they have some drink glasses and stuff like that. So these are the two sets that I guess I find coordinate the best with it. And I'm actually going to use this, never mind. I was going to use this little flower stamp set, but I forgot. I have a little piece of DSP. So don't ever think you can't use this little strip, because this little strip here will not fit on my card base because I did it horizontal, not vertically. So we will bring in that stamp set, but you could add it to your envelope maybe if it was long enough. And we will stamp these flowers on the bottom. See, I haven't even used the stamp set yet, so it's perfect. We gotta try it out. And I will bring in strawberry slush. And we'll just stamp a small row on the bottom. So that's kind of cool. This makes a nice background too if you wanted to stamp a background on a mat or background on your scrapbook pages. Try to keep my work area neat. It doesn't always happen, but we try. It easily gets consumed here when you're doing a live like this. Okay, oh, and we have to put an inside to it. So we have happy birthday. May all your wishes come true. What about vacations for everyone? Has anyone got any big vacation plans for this summer? We don't really have any plans. Our big plans this summer, we've got a few more robotics things, and we are taking the old dive into the world of college for my daughter. So we'll be doing we're taking some random days here and there to spend time looking at colleges with Bella. So that's kind of crazy to think that I'm at that point. So here is card number 1. It opens like that. Card number 2 uses these 2 pieces that we cut. And we're going to have to cut them down just a little bit yet. So we're going to make sure that they're both at 3 3/4. And then this one we're going to cut at 3. And the other one we'll cut at 2. Okay, so then you'll also need to cut yourself a piece of strawberry slush from your 12 by 12. So we're going to adhere these, leaving about 1/8 of an inch border around. How many of you like Sea Secret? I have really grown to love Sea Secret, and I have used it a lot. Even though it has kind of a blue cast to it, I often use it as my black ink for a lot of my cards and things. Oops. Things are sliding down the hole here. So you're going to need your white circle, and there's a little greenery piece here, and you're going to need 2 drinks from your die cut sheet. And what I'm going to do here, because these 2 look so close in color, you could do this with strawberry slush. I'm going to do it with Timid Tiger. I'm going to bring in my blending brush, and then I'm going to add a little more orange just to the bottom. Of this, and then you'll see how much more it kind of pops next to it. See, now there's more contrast between the 2. So I just wanted to add that little bit. Like I said, you can do it with Timid Tiger, you could do it with strawberry slush, whichever you want to do. And then you have a little umbrella here and this little greenery. Now if you don't have the stamp set, you could draw lines, or you could just leave it as is. So we've got daffodil here. I'm going to stamp our umbrella in that. Oh, I agree with you, Janelle. Sea Secret will be great for Halloween. And honestly, I think these gems, they almost have, you know, because they're iridescent, but they have almost the look of almost that. It kind of looks like it's glow in the dark. I think these gems will pair really nice for Halloween also. Now, when I have die cuts like this that are smaller, and sometimes it's hard to see through the block, what I like to do is ink up my block, and I use my fingers to kind of cradle the stamp, and then I just push down. And that is how I stamp images like that. It works really, really good for the most part. Okay, and for our greenery piece, I'm actually going to stamp off using Old Olive. You could do full strength if you prefer. Oops. Gosh, it's when there's nobody in here and it's just me and the cameras. When I'm doing all this stuff, it seems so loud in here. Like it feels like it echoes sometimes when I'm in here. Every time I set a block down or I hit the glass, it just seems so loud. Okay, so our card base is cloud cover. And I'm really beginning to, at first when I saw this cover, I'm like, it's okay. It wasn't my, I guess, first love. Of course, I went straight for the orange peeps. You know that. But it's kind of growing on me. It makes a nice neutral background. So we're going to bring our strawberry slush ribbon in again. We're going to add a strip over our seam. Okay, now we can adhere this to our card base. So how many of you are watching while you're finishing up your Friday work day? So there we go, we've got that. We'll put our ribbon aside. I'm going to bring in my circle. Anyone have any stamping plans for the weekend? Now I am going to lay this one flat like this, and then I'll pop up the smaller one. Well, we'll just put it on our project. How's that sound? There, our umbrella. It wants to stay stuck to me. Now, I know some people have said with the set, I don't like to drink, and that's okay. You don't need to like to drink. This doesn't have to be alcoholic beverages either. They can be different mocktails, and I will say I love a mocktail in my house. I don't drink a lot. It's occasional for me. I'm one of those people that I get really hot, my face gets really red, and I just want to go to sleep. So my husband always says, you are a really cheap date, babe. And I'm like, yep, I am. Just remember that when I'm buying all that stamping stuff. So I tend to go for a mocktail, and my daughter loves to bake like dirty sodas and fun drinks. She's one of those people, she sees stuff on TikTok or YouTube, and Mom, we should try to make this. Needless to say, some stuff has not been so fabulous and other stuff has. Okay, so we've added our little, I'm going to call this our little bit of mint here. That's what I'm going to call that. And our umbrella. Now we can stamp our sentiment. And we're going to bring in cheers. It's your day. And this is where we're going to bring in our Sea Secret. Oops, my stamp was not sticking. So we're going to put this up just a little bit higher, not necessarily centered like we would normally do. So that we can stamp the sentiment underneath it. Now you could also stamp 2 different colors on here too if you wanted to. And because this side is, oh, never mind, I'm gonna keep it on here for the most part. Never mind, just ignore my last comment.
Hello.
Oh, hello. I put the wrong label on here. Haha. So actually, this was Bella's decision. You're supposed to put cheers on here like this. And I forget which one this goes to, but we'll swap it up or we'll change it up later. I just realized that as I was putting that on here. Actually, I'm going to save this for later. Scratch this. Let's go back. Bring in our Sea Secret. Oh, yay. This is your entertainment on a Friday. There we go. So it's kind of funny. So Bella was sitting with me when I was designing some of this. And so I was bouncing ideas off of her. Needless to say, I mean, she did a good job. I'm going to give her credit for a card we have coming up here because it did work out really nice. Hello, Jeannie. Welcome. But she's kind of funny. She's like, Mom, you can't use yellow. You can't use this. And that's too bright. She definitely is not a bright colored girl. She is more of a burgundy or softer colors. She definitely does not like bright, bold colors like her mom. I think that's so sad. I don't know why she doesn't like bright, bold colors, but so she would wrinkle her nose and go, oh, Mama, that's not good. And then I would say, but I like this. And she goes, well, then why did you ask for my opinion? Ah, yes. So I'm just tying a knot. You can make a bow. But it is funny because, you know, the same thing would happen with Chris and I when we would stamp together. She would go purple and I would go, how about orange? So, you know, it's funny how we all have things that we like or certain colors we gravitate towards. Just how it goes. And maybe what you like, you know, what you liked 5 years ago, you don't like anymore. Apparently, back in first grade, pink was my favorite color. I did not know that, and I'm definitely not a pink girl. If I do pink, it's gonna be like hot pink. I like I said, I like really bright, bold colors. But so that was weird to hear that I liked that back in the day. So we'll add our gems. Wow, the stickies are wanting to stay on the plastic and not the gems. And I don't know why, for some reason, I like putting this little ball on the top of my umbrellas, so we've got that there. So, oops, see another one that, so all you have to do is put it back on the page, press it down a little bit, and then try again. There we go. So that card is just about done. We just need to finish up our inside. And what shall we do? Maybe we will do our little greenery guy. Maybe stamp a couple of him. Like that. Maybe just one. Oh, maybe two. Let's see if I can get this on here right. Maybe just go with one, but that works. And I'm going to quick color it in and pick up that green. Uh-oh, my Winkasella is a little on the dry side, but that works. Okay. And it's got cheers on the outside, so I'm going to leave my inside blank in case I want it to be an anniversary or something else in here. So here is card number 2 done. Card number 3. Oops, I forgot to cut a piece here. We're going to need that strip. Remember on our sheet that had all the journal pieces and things like that? You had this strip. So we need this strip. This already measures at 1 1/4, but then we need to cut them down to 2 pieces at 3 3/4. And then I know I forgot to cut see if I have any leftovers before I cut into a brand new sheet. So you guys will have still, I already cut, I had to take a few sheets out of another kit for certain things, but you will still have all of this DSP left over and then some, and a few stickers, and like I said, you see some elements here. You still have plenty left over. You can see I have a whole sheet of strawberry slush, another DSP in here. So there is plenty left over for you guys to create some awesome things on your own. So this piece needs to be 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. There we go. So this piece comes from your DSP, so you'll have to cut that. And we have our freesia. Ah, you have the beer stamps, Janelle, and you love this set for something different. I do too. And like I said, they don't have to be alcoholic drinks. They can be if you want, but there's lots of fun lemonades out there. Chris is probably wanting one for a Friday, right? I don't know who just popped in. Someone did. So we're gonna put these two on the ends. Make sure your leaves, I know when I put them on here when I was creating this card, I almost put my flowers and stuff upside down. So don't do that. Had one the right way and one the wrong way. That's not fun. Okay, and then, so I did make two end pieces so that I know that this piece will be centered then in between. Okay, then you're gonna pull in this green piece that I've cut for you, and then in your die cuts, there is Let's Celebrate, and I cut it apart. So you could put a white label over the top of this if you wanted to at home and stamp a sentiment on. I didn't use this in the scrapbook pages, so, but of course Let's Celebrate's a little too big, but I thought Celebrate would work great, so that's what we're doing. I am going to cut this off. Like so. And we're gonna use some of this silver. Hello, Kitty. Kitty's in here getting a little drink. Who do I have in here? Honky? Looks like Honky. I can't see the face. Oh, I think I put it, I did. I put it behind the word Celebrate. I didn't put it on the back of my label. But you could. What am I doing? I need tear tape. Here we go. I stayed up late last night, so maybe that's my problem. Or it's just the fact that that's sometimes, you know, that's just the way I am. Took me a while to find a ribbon I like to go with this. I played around with different ribbons trying to make them work, and I wasn't in love with anything, and this is what we came up with. And then we'll grab our little minis here. And we'll pop this up. So is anyone creating anything fun for the summer? Are we working on a scrapbook album? Okay, so this will go in the center of our label, like so. And I'm all about popping things up, so we're gonna pop some more. One other thing to remember that Stampin' Up! Has the sweet sale going on. So buy one, get one half off. Pretty amazing deal. So now is your chance. If you've got some stuff that you want to stock up on, or you don't have much and to get a whole suite and you get everything included with it, it's quite the amazing deal. So don't forget, you have about 2 weeks left to take advantage of that deal. So this is just going to go on the top of our card. Hello, France. You're working on a crochet project. Are we making a blanket, a hat? What are you making with your crochet project? Okay. So there's that. We'll bring in our gems again. And we'll stamp our inside. I didn't bring a floral stamp set besides that one, so let me see. Oh, this is kind of cute. I like this. This has a little polka dots. We'll do that on the bottom. And we'll do them in Old Olive, and we will put happy birthday. And blackberry. Oh my goodness, you are making ladybugs and reindeer. They're going to your siblings and nieces and nephews and brothers as a gift. Oh my goodness, how cute. I will say, I feel like crocheting has really exploded over the last, I would say, couple years. It seems to be a trend that the younger kids have gotten into. My daughter started crocheting a couple years ago, and she says a lot of kids, she would actually take it to school with her and do it while she was in classes listening and stuff like that, or had some downtime, she would bring it in and start crocheting. Now, she didn't make much with it. She just liked the crocheting. I don't know if it was just something to keep her hands busy type thing, that she would just do the crocheting. Never really completed a whole blanket or anything. But my niece, who's the same age as Bella, she makes all sorts of things. She makes hats and gloves, and they have these cute little kits. I know I bought her one of these kits where you can make little critters or flowers and things like that. I thought that was really cute. I think they're called Wobbles, or is that the company that makes them? And so I got the kids a lot of that because all the teenagers kind of got into this whole crochet thing. So interesting how things kind of to come around and come back again. You know, just like they say with the fashion trends, you know, every 20 years or so, everything kind of cycles back in. And I don't know if some of you noticed, kind of like the wide leg pants are coming back. And, you know, that was a thing, gosh, when I was in middle school. Does that age me? I don't know. So there we go. Card number 3 done. Really simple, but great way to show off your pattern paper. Okay, card number 4. Actually, these are the 2 cards that Bella helped me with giving me yays and nays and all of that. So originally, of course, I wanted an orange card, but she was like, no, Mom. So we compromised with yellow, and I love yellow too. So even though yellow's a little bright for her, we compromised on yellow. So this yellow piece of DSP is part of your kit. Okay, so we have that, and we're gonna bring in that strawberry slush. I would say I really love like strawberry slush, daffodil delight, timid tiger, definitely calling my name as far as colors go. Hello, Miss Karen. How are you? What did you forget? Did you forget that I was live? So we've got this on here. And then we can adhere our mat down. Yep. Well, welcome. Kick your feet up for a little bit, Karen, and join us for some stamping fun. So we've got this. We've got our little floral circles, so we'll add that. I am good, Karen. Looking forward to this weekend. We'll be out at the farm, hanging out. Tyler's going to give us a fireworks show. Whoop, whoop. We look forward to that every year. We are keeping our fingers crossed that the weather will cooperate. Lots of rain in the forecast. So hopefully it'll stay at bay, but you never know. So here's my label. I have it all ready to go because I oopsied before. So all is good. We're gonna bring in another one of our die cuts. And of course, I'm gonna add some more Timid Tiger. And of course, I'm sure there'll be some good food. We're gonna have some lasagna on Sunday, I know, and I think we decided it's gonna be pizzas tomorrow evening. I'm not sure if that stayed the plan or if that changed. I gotta make some fruit pizza for this weekend. I gotta think of what else. I might bring a salad or something like that along too. Okay, and then we have another one of those green leaves and another beautiful umbrella that we're gonna stamp. So it's gonna be a party at the Bertram farm. We'll all be chilling out. We're all sleeping over. Okay, and then we're gonna bring in our old olive again, and I will stamp off again. And like I said earlier, with these little pieces like this, and they're cut out already, I use my fingers to cradle the stamp, and then I just press it down. Hi, Linda, welcome. No problems coming in late today. We'll be on for a while. We're working on our 4th card, plus we've got scrapbooking today, so lots of fun to join in on. Okay, so now we can bring all of our pieces in. cup in. We've got our label here that we got ahead of the game. And got that done already. So we've got our little mint. You can pretend it's a mojito maybe. I don't know what kind of mojito this would be. That usually has mint in it, right? I don't know. I don't know. How many of you got your packages? Some of you are probably going to be close to getting your packages for Fun in the Sun. It was fun to be here last weekend. I didn't really do any stamping. I was running all over the place, picking up kids and coming back and picking up another kid and coming back. But it was nice to just sit back and chit chat with everyone and just enjoy time together. That to me is the most fun. It's just getting together with everyone. And I mean, I love the crafting part of it too, but it's just nice sitting with everyone and hanging out. So this little baby is from the Happy Hibiscus set. I love this little flower. I'm guessing it's a plumeria. That's it very much mimics that of a plumeria, so I'm calling it a plumeria. Look at that. And it's so bright and cheery. I just love it. Love, love, love. Okay. We're gonna keep going with this happy birthday theme just because I like to do birthday cards. Jeannie, you just got yours in. Oh, there was so much to unpack. I know, there was a lot in there. And those projects, they definitely knocked it out of the park with these projects. So have fun putting them together. And I will say, I think probably is going to be my new favorite thing to do are slim lines. I just like, because they're different. Every once in a while, you guys will see me make a square card or a shaped card because I like to do something different once in a while, and I get bored with the same traditional. So you guys might see a little bit more of that in your future. What should we put? Let's put some ice cubes. I don't have a light color. Let's do, what should we do, guys? We'll put a little orange on the inside. How's that sound? Karen, you like the slim lines too? I did too, like I said. And it was nice that we did some large ones and then we did some small ones. And I really loved the small ones. Just something different to play with. So I hope you enjoy the slim lines like we did, Jeannie. Oh, and I almost forgot my little knot. There we go. We'll put a little knot in here. I have to say, at first when I felt this ribbon, I didn't know, it kind of felt a little bit stiffer, but it actually ties up really nice. Sometimes you get those ribbons where they don't tie as well, and these actually tie really, really nice. Ta-da! Card number 4. I think we're on our final card here. And we're going with a whole lot of lemons. Going with our lemon theme here. So we got some good old lemonade. Ice cold lemonade for a nice summer day. Or in my case today, it's Cherry Pepsi Zero. Hello, Deanne. Welcome. So we've got that beautiful, beautiful striped yellow. And obviously, I didn't realize, I guess, how much strawberry slush ribbon we use. So we're going to put some strawberry slush down the center. Or you can use polka dots here if you would like. Okay, Karen, I know it's a little chilly today. We might need some hot chocolate, I know, but it's June. It's supposed to be beautiful, sunny, and we should all be sitting in my pool. That's what we should be doing. But it is chilly today. But I think I saw next weekend we might have up to 90s, so we might be wishing for the cooler weather where we can have the windows open. I do have shorts on, Karen. Shorts and a t-shirt. That's for me. Maybe if I was outside doing some work or something, I would need some pants or a long sleeve shirt on, but not normally. Okay, so you have this white from the Notes of Texture. And we need to bring in our stickers. And our sheet of dies. We're going to use 2 of these. It still is in the 60s, Karen. I'm just saying. And we need 2 lemons. Now what I'm going to do, because I think it makes it a little bit easier to cut out and not worry about things sticking to my scissors. What I did at home was I just took computer paper and I stuck it to my sticker. And I felt with these stickers, there was a little bit too much white space. So I did a little bit of fussy cutting, so you don't have to do this by all means, but I did. I just felt there was too much white space around the elements here, so I'm actually going to cut down my white space. And then it makes my lemons look a little bit smaller and fit on my card just a little bit. Like it was meant for a card and not so much of a scrapbook page. I know some of you are probably going, she's fussy cutting a sticker. Why? That's why. Stampin' Up! Did not ask me if this was too much white space or not. So, we did 1, I'd settle for 65, 70, but the wind makes it feel colder. It sure doesn't feel like 60. I guess I haven't sat outside today. I have been inside or in my car or somewhere since 8:30 this morning, so I don't pay any attention. Usually my clients have to tell me what the weather is like, or I get to see a glimpse of it when I go up and get them. And the nice thing about cutting a lemon out is they're not perfectly shaped. So if you don't cut this perfectly, if you decide to fussy cut like me, it's okay. Hello, Miss Sherry. How are things going? Okay, so we have 2 lemons, and then these are just a smidge too long, so I'm going to cut part of these off, but I'm just making a little circle here, so I'm just cutting the bottom part off, actually, like that. Okay, I'm done fussy cutting for now. I think there might be something else, but for now this works. And I know that you don't see a lot of this, but I just wanted to make the bottom part feel a little more filled in, I guess you would say. So we've got that, and I'm actually going to pop up the little ends here. And then I cut out a bunch of leaves for you guys. I think I got 4 leaves here to add in some extra greenery pieces. So we'll add our lemons. Actually, we need our cups. So we're gonna have 2 pool party cups. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm envisioning somewhere in my childhood that someone had glasses that had kind of a look to this that were blue. So that's what we went with. And as Bella just about freaked out last night, as I'm like, I can't have my cups the same, I'm gonna cut some off. And she's like, okay, Mom, just a little. And I went like this, and she goes, oh, that was a lot, Mom. So that's what I did. I just took a chunk of it off. I didn't measure it. It's just what I do. So we'll put this one down, and then we're gonna pop up the other one. So she was a little freaked out. She's like, that's not a little, Mom, that's a lot. I'm like, it's fine, Bella. And for some reason, I don't want to put my cups on here straight. I don't know. I mean, cups usually are straight when they're on a counter, but when I put them on a card, I feel like they've got to be crooked. Anybody else have that feeling? I know I'm kind of odd sometimes, but I feel like they got to be going in for cheers, right? Now we can put some lemons on. So there's one, and then we'll put one over here on the opposite side. And I'll tilt this one out just a little bit. Now we're going to add some extra leaves. So I'm just going to tuck them in a little bit. Then we're going to bring in one of our lemon slices. And put that like that. And then we got a few more of those plumeria flowers. And I will use a glue dot for those. And then I have these really itty bitty freesia flowers that we're gonna stick in here. Might have lost one through the cracks here. That's okay. So here we go. And we should probably stamp first. But, you know, I like to do things backwards sometimes. So I don't always do things in order like I probably should. In case I oopsied and I've done all this hard work and I don't stamp it right. We'll find out. Keep your fingers crossed. As I added ink to my fingers. Not bad, we're gonna go with that. I could have pressed a little more firmly, but we're gonna go with it. Got a hot mess going on. That's how we know we're being creative, right? Okay. Now this can go onto your card base. So if this doesn't make you think of summer, I don't know what else will. I am totally feeling summer vibes with this card. It looked crooked for a moment. And we also have another sticker in here. So we're gonna put a little lemon slice down here in the corner. And we'll stamp hip hip hooray. So what do you guys think of this kit so far? Oh, I love how nice and solid that stamps. You know how sometimes your Memento ink pad does not give that rich, deep color, and I love that using Sea Secret does that. So we have completed all of the cards for this portion, and now we can move on to our scrapbooking. Carmen, can the embellishments be colored? Absolutely. Not sure. I wish I had a blend here because I would totally color it to see if they would turn out more pink if you use, like, let's say strawberry slush over the top. That would be really cool. Why didn't I think of that? I don't know. Okay, we're gonna kind of move this stuff off to the side here. Make some room. Those scrapbook pages take up space. I'll show the 5 cards real quick again. But usually all of our gems can be colored with blends. So we got Yellow-licious going on. A little Purple-licious. Rainbow-licious. Any of you have kids, read those books to your kids. Bella was into Pinkalicious, and then they came out with Purplelicious. So here's our 5 cards using the kit. Hey, I think this was a flower pie from my kit from the other day. Okay. On to scrapbooking now. Whew. I think I can set all of this aside for now. Oh, I better not do that. I was just thinking about, I piled all this stuff up on top of my ribbon, and I still need ribbon for our pages. So, give me 2 seconds to kind of get a little set up. Carmen, you're loving them? Yay! Okay. So, I hope you guys are excited about these scrapbook pages because I am pretty excited. And I'm actually going to quickly just punch out all of this stuff so that I don't lose any of it in the meantime. So while I'm doing that, you guys can go grab, maybe Karen needs some hot chocolate, or something to drink or a snack. This is your sponsored break time right now. Anna, you don't live too far from Janelle either. Oh, got a lot of Michigan fans here. Love it. And I will admit, this big giant piece here, at first I didn't know like what it was. I really kind of sat there going, is this an umbrella? What is this? I was not sure at first, and I was kind of like, I didn't know what to do with that at first. But I think what I came up with works out pretty good, so hopefully you guys will agree. And now, as you guys can see, I know these pages seem like they're kind of thin and whatnot, but you guys can see I'm not being very like gentle with these. So they do come out pretty nice without, you know, any tearing or ripping or anything like that. And Carmen, you just placed your order today. Whoop, whoop. I saw Angelique place her order too. So you guys are getting on top of it. So way to go, ladies. Okay. Now I've got most of my pieces kind of sorted here. Don't have as much bulk sitting out. All right. So let's see what I can pull out of my bag first, and then we'll see what page we do. Oh, we're gonna do the sunburst first, guys. I was so excited when doing this. So for this one, you're gonna pull out your 2 pieces of cloud cover. Actually, you have 4 in here, but we're gonna use 2 of them for now. Okay, I think I've got all my goodies for now. So you can choose whether you want to use the light side or the dark side. So this is cloud cover, dark side, light side. I'm going to use the light side just because I feel like I want a brightness to it. I don't want a dark here. So what you need is 5 strips of DSP cut 3 by 8. Okay, so here are my 5 designs. Now some of these are the back, so you'll see this is the same and this is the same. Okay, and I already have this one cut already, so I forgot about that. So I'm just going to set this aside. This will just be used for a card. So all you have to do, super easy, is cut these all in the same direction. So if I'm putting my left side on the top, I'm going to put my right side on the bottom. So line these up, and you're going to cut on a diagonal from corner to corner. And make sure your fingers are out of the way and you're not moving the paper. So I was very excited with this. I love how this turned out. You guys will probably be seeing more of this in your future. So actually, you're going to use both pieces from each sheet that you cut, minus one of them. So you saw that I had this blue or cloud cover DSP. We're only going to use one of those, but the rest we use both. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces cut. And put this one sheet, oops, aside, and I'll show you what we're doing. But we're making this, ta-da, cool starburst. I love it. So you're gonna lay your pieces out. Got a lot of pieces going on. I need a bigger desk here. Not enough space. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna kind of just lay these out the way where I want them. And I'm just gonna mimic what I did before. So two things I want you to look for. One is this piece here in your corners. I'm kind of doing a half a sheet on a diagonal. So that's what I'm looking for. So I'm bringing this. This is meeting up down here. Make sure I can get up here. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit for you. Okay. This piece right here is going to be lined up with that. And this piece is going to do the same thing up here. Okay. So this is going right up to this corner like that. And then if you have your points in roughly, I mean, you can't see, they're not going to be exact unless you're really, really good. Maybe you get out a ruler and measure them. But that's roughly how I'm going to lay them out. Now, I did leave like a little tiny space between each one. So, depending if you pull it out here. Now, I'm going to put two mats here. So you're going to cover up the center. So it's okay that it does not meet. Depending how much space you want will depend how close you put, or how close in you put them and how far they're out. The more out that you have these, the bigger the space can be. The more that you bring them in, the less space. And I'm just doing like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, okay? And then I'm just alternating my pattern. So what I did was kind of picked more of that solid image. And then a floral image, vice versa. Actually, and then I just kept my pattern going around. So I'm just laying them on here right now as a guide as to where I want everything. And when I put these down, I'm actually just going to lift them up and put some glue underneath. You do not want glue brought all the way to the edge of your piece because we're going to be cutting some of this down. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a line here, like so. I'm going to put this one down, and I just did that. I put glue where I wasn't supposed to. And I think this is the same exact pattern that I did the last time. So learn from my mistakes. So it's roughly where I want it to be. So now we can just go through and lay these all out. Now I'm going to put this middle piece in. Like that. And then everything else will just kind of layer in there. Yeah, I was going to do a card with this kit. And let's see this one. Using the starburst technique, and I totally forgot to. Okay, these all laid out nice before, and now they're not going to. What's going on? Okay, let's try this again. I probably should have had this blue one not down so far. That's the... We'll just rip our paper apart, guys. Okay, let's try this again. Slide these over. Okay, that works out a little bit better. There we go. Yes, I definitely love all of these different patterns. And the nice thing is you don't have to pick and choose because you get to use all of the patterns. So another great technique to use and show off your DSP. We always have such beautiful DSP that Stampin' Up! Gives us, and sometimes, you know, we don't want to chop into it, or, oh gosh, we like both sides, and which side do you want to use? And then you wish you had maybe more of that one paper, and so this way you get to use all of it and enjoy all of the beautiful colors. Well, this side turned out way better. I don't know what the difference was, but I did something on that other side. Oops. And now we glued ourselves to the paper. Okay, so take your yucky scissors, or your sticky scissors, as I would call them, and you're gonna go through and cut off all of these extra pieces. Now, just beware, you could just stick this in your trimmer and cut it. It would go a little bit faster, but it's just as easy to do this too. Now don't forget, you can keep these strips here. These strips I was able to get, you guys will see, I was able to get a tote out of these. I'm gonna just put this in the trimmer instead of torturing you guys. There we go. All of them done all at once. There we go. So there it is, our beautiful starburst. There's that gluey one. We'll put the one I had glue on. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so now we'll bring in our mats. So we got some strawberry slush mats. Like I said, this doesn't all line up. That's okay. We're gonna cover that up. That's a great thing about some of this stuff. You know, you don't like something, or maybe there's a oopsie. Don't be afraid to cover it up with an embellishment or a label. Just change things up just a little bit. Polly, you're digging the starburst. I am too. And I love all the bold colors we have going on. So pretty. I'm going to move this over just a little bit more. Like that. Maybe now I moved it over too far. Nice thing when you're working with pop-ups or any type of like tape glue, you do have a little bit of time to quick pick things up and move it, where sometimes liquid glue, once it starts to set, that's it. Okay, so we're gonna bring in our Sip Sip Hooray. And that's gonna go right about like so. And then we're gonna bring in some of those leaves. What do we have here? Do those two. Just bringing in these and just making a little bit of a, put them like that. We're gonna bring in a couple drinks. We got some of this gold. Oops, that was kind of really crooked. Put that one on and didn't supervise it going on. So I'll put a little tear tape here. This is why you gotta have a ribbon scissors, because your sticky scissors don't cut it as well. So let's find our drinks here. We're gonna have a lemonade and I don't know, maybe a lavender something, huh? Or blackberry, could be blackberry, right? And two, like I said, the stickers, some of them, I just feel like there's a little too much white outline. So I am just fussy cutting some of that off. You definitely don't have to do this. but like I said, just me personally, don't love all the white. And these are easy enough to trim out. And I usually I have a big pair of, I don't know, they're like fabric scissors or whatever. I tend to like to cut out with those versus these smaller ones, but any scissors will do. There we go. Okay. Pop these up. And the nice thing Stampin' Up! Does do, you guys can see, and I know I've talked about this before, but on the back of these, if you wanted to make the kits the way Stampin' Up! Has provided them, these little die cuts are all labeled on there for you already. So tell you which project that each, or page, each one belongs to. So there we go, there's that. Add some gems, so we added some gems here. And this first page is all complete. We'll bring in our other page. I use the light, so I'm going to use the light again. And we've got this DSP and some yellow strips here. We're going to glue them on, and I'm going to glue them right on to the bottom of this. So you maybe didn't need as much cut. This is a 6x12 piece, but sometimes things are just easier to line up that way. All right, this seems to be in the way, so we'll move that aside. Okay, so these are on, and then there are these blackberry strips here. That we're going to try to glue on. It's a little bit hard because they're sticky, so they want to stick to your fingers before they want to stick to the paper. And I could lay them, when I first did this, I originally laid them right on the paper, but then they didn't seem as even, and I was tearing them off and doing things like that. So we're doing it this way and working our way. Try getting our strip even. And that was the reason why with the lemons and things like that, I just took some computer paper or whatever, some scrap paper, and put it on the back of it. It's just a little bit easier to work with. Or at least that's what I found. Oh, not too bad. I will say they put some good adhesive on these stickers. They definitely won't come off. Okay. So then this will go down the middle of your page. And I always like to check the back too. That's where sometimes you'll see, you know, sometimes when you got all these patterns going on, it's hard to tell if things are going even. So when you flip this over, you'll be able to see if it's lined up. You'll be able to see any overhang and things like that. So that's why I do it that way. And then I cut a piece of floral DSP. And I'm going to cheat and bring in my trimmer so that my banner is even. So this is a 4-inch piece. So I'm going to put it on the 2-inch mark. And I'm just going to go up maybe inch, inch and a half. And we will cut a banner piece. So what I do is then I can just bring from the outside and cut it right to the middle. And there you've made a really easy banner. And then actually before we get started here, we're going to bring in our white woven ribbon and we're going to lay that across the top. So we're just going to put a little strip of it back here and wrap it around. So you guys get to use lots of different ribbons in this kit. And then I will just pop up the top and the bottom part. And then that journal piece that we cut out, we need that. So we'll bring that in. And before, I gotta make sure that I have my spacing correct. So are you guys liking these kits? Just curious how you guys, do you like kits or do you prefer to just create your own? Are you liking these kits to help give you ideas and things like that? So we've got some strawberry slush and I'm just kind of putting these on slight angles. Like that. I'm not making it perfectly straight, except maybe this journal piece. Okay, and that's how we're gonna lay these all out. And I like to pop, but you can glue everything down. Make sure you journal before you pop up. Another question I have for you guys, do you do a lot of journaling in your scrapbooking, or do you do minimal, you know, do you stick to the basics, maybe a date or a few names or a place? I see there were a lot of journaling pieces in this kit, and I believe the last kit that I did also had quite a bit of journaling. I was just curious if a lot of people do journaling with their scrapbooking, or you tend to stick to the bare minimal. I know some people do a lot of journaling where they'll write almost like a whole paragraph in theirs. I'm a little bit more simple. Date, place, things like that, and maybe who's in it. Occasionally, I will add little things like the stories I told you before about the horse pee and you know, just different little things like that that, you know, you think you'll always remember. And unfortunately, we don't always remember. You know, I always said, I'll be okay. I don't need to write things down. I'll know which kid did what. And now that I look back, I go, oh gosh, I can't remember if it was Logan or Landon, or, oh, was this what Bella did? I mean, there's certain stories that will always stick out to you, but it is sometimes hard after you've got a couple kids, really to remember kind of who did what, and it just kind of becomes a little bit of a blur sometimes. But, you know, I think sometimes too, it all just, as we all know, there's never enough time, and it definitely, time flies, that is for sure. So I'm just overlapping slightly. Like I said, and I'm just slightly angling them, not a lot, but just a little bit. There we go. And then you could place a white bow up through here if you want. I added some gems. So we got a little smattering of gems there, a couple down here. So that is page number 2. Your next page, you're gonna need your 12 by 12 fresh freesia. And you're gonna need these pieces here. I know I cut this piece. Here it is. It was hiding behind my ruler. And you're also going to, so for your white mats that I use, oh, I cut them already. I was like, wait a second. They gave you several sheets of 12 by 12 white cardstock. So that is what I use to cut the mats. So just note that your mats are getting cut out of the 12 by 12 that's in your kit. At least the white ones are. Okay. So once again, choose if you want the light side or the dark side. Welcome to the dark side. Welcome to the light side. I'm going with brighter, lighter, so put that there. So we're going to adhere this sheet. Like so. And I'm just going to leave a small, I don't know, not maybe 1/4 inch gap down at the bottom. And then I have a strip of the polka dot here. We'll put that on. We'll layer it just slightly over the top. Like that. And this here will be for two 4x6 photos going that way. Now, if you don't want to use the white for mats and you just want to put your photos down, great. If you want to use a different color, you could pull in blackberry, you could do olive, you could do freesia if you wanted to. So feel free to do your mats however you want to do them. And some people don't like to do mats. I like to do mats. I don't know what is everyone's favorite here. I like to do mats. I just feel like it helps your photos stand out. And I don't necessarily need them to always be square like this. Sometimes I distress the edges and do things like that to them. But I like to have something that just kind of borders my photo and lets it stick out a little bit. Okay, so this wonky piece here, I guess I'm using it more like it could be an umbrella or it could be just flowers above. So that's kind of what I'm doing with it. So I will kind of just pop up the top here and I will glue. I'm gonna do this. Glue the rest of them. So this is gonna go roughly like this. You're gonna put this green piece in the middle. So I want to put this up as high as I can. So that I'm not covering up my mat where my photos would go, but still making sure that I'm covering the gap in between your mat and this. So I'm actually going to just angle my ends on this. I bannered it in my previous one, but completely up to you what you want to do.
You don't have to. You determine.
Okay, so this is going to go like this.
Yeah, we determine that you don't have to do anything, and it will automatically renew at $0 for you. We discovered that in January or February, so you don't have to do anything.
Okay, so like that. And then there is a sentiment called Good Times. We're going to do Good Times in here. And I'm going to cheat and not put ribbon all the way across. I'm just going to put ribbon. We're going to take little pieces of it.
You just click on Forgot Password, and it will prompt you to recreate password.
Like this. And I will use my tear tape here. So this is a way to use not as much ribbon. We're cheating. We're giving you the illusion that I have weaved ribbon back and forth. But, you know, we're not wasting it, right? Because that would be a lot of ribbon you wouldn't see. We don't want to not see our beautiful ribbon. So there we go. And you can cut your tails once you got this flipped over. Make sure it's where you want it. Okay, and of course I will pop up this banner. And don't throw these ends away. Use them up. There's a lot of dimensional life in these. Okay. That looks really crooked. I always pull my sheet up and hold it in front of me after doing something like this. I just find when I scrapbook, sometimes things are so far away from you, and the angle that you're looking at, you don't always get, you know, it's further away from you, so you can't see. So I always hold it up like this, just to make sure things are looking even. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we have that, and then we've got some cute little butterflies that I thought we would add. So what's for dinner for everyone tonight? Because that'll be the first thing when I'm done here and my son shows up. Mom, what's for dinner? I took some ground chicken out. I was gonna make like chicken ranch burgers, but I don't know. You know how sometimes you're just not feeling it? So we'll see. Okay, so I'll use my glue dots for that because that'll be really easy. Just make sure you've got a good hold of your butterfly when you take it off so you don't tear your butterfly. So there we go. Add some gems, and this page is done. And then bring in your other sheet of freesia. You're gonna do kind of the same thing, but a little bit different. We're gonna put our sheet like this on this side. Leaving that slight gap like we did on the other page. There we go. And then we've got some 4x6 mats. I'm gonna do like that. And this. So these are gonna go over to the edge quite a bit because we have a large flower image that we are going to put on this side. So I have this really large floral image like this. That is gonna go over here, and then we're gonna add some more greenery to it. So I'm gonna add this piece of greenery here, and I think I have another one just like it in here somewhere. Over the rainbow. I won't sing for you guys, I promise. Well, there's one. I had two in that one. I hope I didn't. Oh, here it is. Nope. Oh, here it is. It's way over here. Ta-da! Okay. So Polly, you're loving the page with all the flowers. Okay. Wait till you guys see the next page though. It's really got some summertime vibes to it. I'm so excited. So we'll adhere our mats down because I know, actually, this is what I did. I put my flower down first. So we're gonna put our flower down. So this is gonna go so what I did was we'll glue these on. Okay, we'll glue these on, but then I popped up this floral piece just to give it some dimension. So this really made it look, by adding this, it kind of really gave it like more of a bouquet look, looking fuller like that. So look at how much of your page that takes up now. And then we're going to add a little bit of liquid glue there. So I'm going to put this right up to the edge here, like that. And now you can place your floral or your mats now that we have our floral image down. Just wanted to make sure that we saved enough room to fit that floral image in and not cover up our photos completely. Now some of it will go over the top of your photo, but that's okay. And if anything, as you put a photo in here and you're deciding how you want this to be, you don't have to add the leaves if you need more space in your photo, or you could trim your leaves down a little bit if it works better for your photo. By all means, and these are just ideas that for you to lay your photos down. I know sometimes that's the hardest part is, okay, not only did I sit and I have to decide what photos I'm going to use, but also how do I lay this out? So this just gives you different ways to lay out and different photo sizes to lay out your things. And then there is a little, we had these little tags in here, like this. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to pop up the end of it. Hello, Julie, welcome. Happy Friday. So here you could put a date or a name or whatever you would like. And then I am going to make a double bow here with my bow maker using that gold ribbon that's right here in front of me. Now I want this bow to be a little bit bigger because I feel like my bouquet is bigger, so we're going to be using a little bit larger loops here. Wrap this over. I tell you, whoever made a bow maker was a genius. And then I kind of just gonna break that up just a little bit and attach with some glue dots. So I'm gonna kind of put it over that little flower, I guess, that is part of. And there we go, we got a beautiful bouquet of flowers. And then we'll finish off with a couple of more of the butterflies. Like, I know I have more in here. I saw them. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'll place one there. I'll place one there. Add some gems. And beautiful, right? So, page number 4 done. On to our final pages. And for this, you will need white 12 by 12. Like I said, I think there were 4 or 5 sheets of white cardstock in this kit. Apparently, I only have one left, so I must have taken, oh, nope, I have 2. It was stuck. I was like, oh no, I messed up. Oh, and you also need, you have 2 more sheets of cloud cover, 2-tone in here. You're gonna need those. And I have 2 half-inch strips, or 4 of them, sorry. 4 of those. And we need to cut, oops. It feels so loud. I was telling you guys that earlier. It feels so loud when I'm moving things here. So these need to be 10.5 by 9. And once again, choose whichever side you want for this. Light, dark, doesn't matter. Whatever wows you. So you don't need these scraps. They're scraps for another project. Okay. So you need one piece of your blue and 2 of your floral strips. Oh, I got a Leaning Tower of Pisa over here. Let's hope I can keep it all from toppling over. Okay. So these strips are just gonna go on here like this. So you'll definitely be feeling some summertime, springtime vibes with these 2 pages. Okay, so in this goes on here like this. Does the lighting seem a little dark in here today, guys? I'm just curious. I'm looking at my phone here and it looks kind of dark, but maybe it's just me here. Okay, so we have 2 really long flowers left. These are gonna go on the sides. It's kind of fun having some big elements to work with. Oh, I gotta put my mats down. Da-da-da-da. I got all excited. Can't wait to show you guys the finished product here. So like this and this. And like that. So next month we're gonna use Stampin' Up! Came out. It's in the kits section. I don't remember what it is called. It's brand new. Just got listed. I'm trying to think if it's, Chris has it down here. She actually got it when she was on her incentive trip. And I thought I would use that kit for the month of July. But it had some cool elements in it, and okay. It is called, I'm gonna just pull this out while I'm thinking of it so that I don't forget. It is called the Make a Memory Scrapbooking Kit. So it's not in the regular scrapbooking stuff. It is actually in, the kit's not in here, but you could look it up online. In the kit section, it's not in the scrapbooking section. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now I have my mats. So that's what we'll be doing for next month. So we're just gonna kind of line our edge here with these florals. And then we're gonna add some summertime vibe to this. On the edge. Okay, we have notes and totes here. So we're gonna make a beach bag, and I don't need all this bulk on my page. So there's score lines. You'll see the score lines. There's several score lines. And we're just gonna cut off the first set of score lines on the edge, and we're gonna cut the bottom off. Do that. That. And that. Okay, so now we have our beach bag started. And you're gonna have this little strip here. Here's our handles. And then there's two skinny little strips to make our bag. So I'm gonna go right down this other score line. And that's where these strips are gonna go. I will tell you, at first I was like, this set's okay. But then when we were at Onstage and the presentations she did with this, and I'll be honest, there's a pair of sunglasses in the dies here I absolutely love. I think the sunglasses are so cute. Janelle, you looked at, I guess I haven't looked, at the July paper pumpkin, and it looks really cool. So now I'm gonna have to go check out the July paper pumpkin. I saw something, I didn't, is next month the strawberry one? I saw strawberries on there. Okay, and then this piece goes over the top, like that. And then we're just gonna put a little bit of glue on our handles, and that will go like that. How cute, right? And then probably one of my favorite pieces in this whole kit, a little beach umbrella or sun umbrella, whatever you want to call it. So we're using the umbrella, and we're headed to the pool or the beach or maybe just the backyard, who knows. And I'm gonna pop up the top of our tote here. And the top of our umbrella. So the umbrella here is gonna go like this. It's gonna cover a little bit of your bottom of your photo. Okay, and then your tote goes like I'll move it over just a little bit. Goes like that. We're gonna bring in some fun drinks. We've got a creamsicle, a lemonade, and maybe a blue raspberry, blueberry, blackberry. In your case, it's the backyard. Oh, yes, in my case, it's the backyard. But sometimes I gotta take a bag out there of goodies, you know. It took me a minute, Mary. I'm a little slow sometimes. Once again, I'm gonna take off a little bit of this white. A little too much white space for me. one of these days we're gonna have an event at my place, and it'll be like a pool party stamp scrap. I don't know. I was thinking about hosting one in July, and I kind of gotta look from the husband of, we don't even have our yard work done yet for the summer, you know, like digging up all the weeds and flowers planted. So, and he knows, like, I mean, that'll all be done hopefully by next weekend, but you know. And he's like, and we got this project and that project, so he kind of looked at me like, can you do it another time? He didn't say no to an event. He just thought we had too much on our plate right now. So I kind of just said, okay. But I don't know. I'm still working the vibe. We'll see. Sometimes I can get him to cave. But we have to have some warm enough weather for us to use the pool. The kids get all excited. The one day it was 82 in there, and they're like, Mom, it's so nice out. We should go in the pool. And then I think it was later in the day, the temperature had dropped and it was only 75. And they're like, whoa, Mom, it's a little bit chilly. But it didn't stop them. I think last year was our first year at the house, and the water temp was only 65, but they were just so excited to use the pool, and they went in, came up shivering and blue lips and all, but they were determined to stay in that water at least for a little bit and enjoy that pool. So they're funny. Oh, to be young again and the things you can do. I think my husband would, if he prefers it warmer, and our heater doesn't work, so he might freeze up and not be able to get back out of the pool if the water's too cold for him. Mary, you'll be here July 2nd. Oh, okay. Come on over. I think we're doing a pool party though on 4th of July, so come on over. You can join the party. Are you coming for a class, maybe, possibly? Okay, so we got our 3 drinks, right? Actually, I didn't need pop-ups on that middle one. Let me see, I can peel them right back off. That one's gonna get a little more hidden. I grabbed my cup, and if you guys would have seen my eyeballs as I was watching the tower that I have set over on the side, kind of lean over. I'm like, oh no, I hope it doesn't fall. Okay, so this one's gonna get glued down. So what would be your drink of choice, Miss Mary? Would it be a creamsicle? Would it be a strawberry lemonade? Oh, it's strawberry season almost here in Wisconsin. So hopefully I'll be picking strawberries in the next week or two, I hope. We have a few strawberries starting to come up at our house, but I don't have enough strawberries planted to do some jam. Okay. So we have these stickers in here. I didn't even show you guys the stickers. Shame on me. This says there's summer fun, and that is what we're going with here. Summer fun all the way. Miss Mary, I was invited to Michigan to float the Muskegon River on the 5th. Would that be with the Barney clan? Or no, Parker. Jeannie Parker. Okay, so we're gonna take our summer, look at this. Oh, I love this. And put it like this. And then we have those plumerias. We're bringing them in. A virgin strawberry dac, that sounds delicious too. I still have a few frozen strawberries from last year in my freezer. I was thinking about pulling them out and doing like a strawberry glaze on my fruit pizza for this weekend with them, but I haven't decided. I should probably figure that out because that's like, you know, this weekend. So check it out. Add some gems. Do you feel summer vibes going on? I love this. Okay, so for our final page, you need to do the same thing that you did on the other page. So add those strips. Bella and I decided that we're going to make a drink of the week this summer. As you guys, I was telling you guys earlier, my Bella loves to, you know, try new things, TikTok, you know, YouTube, whatever. So we're gonna have a drink of the week. So I'll let you guys know how that goes this summer. Of course, they'll all be virgin. That's what I should do. I should make some strawberry lemonade for this weekend. What do you guys think about that? Homemade strawberry lemonade with those frozen strawberries. That sounds really good. And I'm going to bring in that page we just did and make sure that my rectangles line up. Mary, you like the idea of my drink of the week? I'll probably do that. Probably she'll try to convince me into dessert of the week. I wanted to try making breads too. So we'll see how that goes this summer. I try to find something fun for the kids and I to do over the summer and Bella likes to cook, so it'll be something like that with her. I haven't figured out Landon yet, what he, and maybe that's something that him and Dad go and do. They go do fishing and things like that. So that might be the dad things to do. So you're going to need, there's these two really long greenery pieces here, and then two of the smaller ones. And then our sticker sheet's coming in, and we're gonna pull out both of these circles. Actually, I should glue my greenery down first. And I should put my photo mats on. See, I'm getting all excited because this is all coming together. And oh, you've been doing the cake mix over rhubarb. That sounds yummy. What do they call it? Dumb cake? Is that what they call it? Usually. So we've got that. Let's bring in our mats. Let's get our mats down, guys. So how long is this river float, Miss Mary? Is it like an all-day river float, and bring your cooler and all of that? go. So we got two 4x6s and a 3x4. Now we can add the other greenery. I said I get ahead of myself sometimes. I get so excited when my projects are coming together, and so I'm gonna put a little glue dot, or not glue dot. You guys know what I mean? Dimensional. You're not sure. You don't know what you got dragged into, huh? So this will go over like this, and this one will go like that up there. And now we can bring in our circles. And I'm going to add a couple dimensionals to the top of my floral sticker. Like that. And then we have, oh, I need my word fun. I need to put that down to make sure I have enough space. So we have fun here, because we're going to have a lot of fun this summer, right? Mary, you crack me up. All you know is fat floats. Oh my goodness. I float on a floaty very well, I will say that. Oh, Mary, Mary. We never know what she's going to come up with. Okay, so this is where our word fun is going to go. Oh, crack me up on a Friday. Mary, Mary. Oh, gosh. All right. I can't get this one off, you guys. I know Mary would say, you don't need it popped up. It's all good. So we got our sangria here. A little sangria. Now we're gonna put our fun down, because Mary's having a lot of fun, guys. You want to have fun, go hang out with Mary. I can't imagine Mary and Karen if you guys are sitting next to each other. That sounds like that could be double trouble. They were separated at Fun in the Sun, and maybe that was on purpose. I don't know. I guess I'd have to ask Christine. Okay, we got two little lemon slices that we're gonna stick right in here. Like that. And I have another little cute little hibiscus flower, one more, to add to our page here. And that's gonna go right there. And that is what I have for you folks today. Oh my goodness, look at, we did it. And you still have all of these stickers to use. I originally, and I didn't even think of it, I should have measured this, but I didn't measure it. I just assumed it would fit on a card. I don't know why. but it's actually would take up an entire, entirely card base. So, that was my original plan. I'm like, oh, this would make a perfect card, put a little label on there and call it good. But, when I went to go make my cards, and I always make my cards last, that was a little too big. And it took up a little too much brain space for me to figure out something else with it. So, so you have these other elements that you can add. You could add these little tags above some of your photos, a couple little banner pieces here. And like I said, there's still other elements in here. You've got a circle, you've got this angled piece, another piece of greenery here. Oh, there's a strip of yellow and white. So lots of stuff left over. Plus, you still had DSP and two-tone cardstock left over. So there's a lot you can do with these kits. So let's bring in everything again. I'll show you kind of side by side, because I create as if my pages will be side by side in a book. Oh, you know what, guys? I'm really sorry. I widened the screen. I hope I was in the screen okay before to show you guys up close something, and I never zoomed it back out. But there we go. There is this 2-page layout. And then this one. So where's my purple fans there? Miss Karen and Angelique. And then our cool sunburst page. I'm so happy with my sunburst. First time doing it, and it turns out. So I was very excited with how that turned out. And then we have all of the beautiful cards that we made. Oops. Oh, there goes a tower. I get stiff after sitting in this chair for a couple hours. But it was relaxing. I will say I enjoy my time just sitting here. I was running around all kind of morning and running with kids, and so it was nice to come here and stamp with all of you. So here are our fun summertime cards that coordinate with our layouts here. So this class is a $70 order. With that $70 order, you need to either have this kit at home already, or you need to add it to your order, plus a few other things, whether you need adhesive, gems, things like that. Stock up on that. Orders need to be placed by, today is the 13th, so by next week, Friday the 20th, to get the additional kit from me. So next Friday is the 20th, so you have till the 20th to get your orders in, and then I will probably cut kits. I probably won't cut kits until the 23rd. That's what I'm looking at right now. If you guys want condensed shipping with Christine, let me know. I can include this with Christine's shipments. I believe she is shipping the week after the 4th of July is what I had looked up. So if you want to wait and save on some, actually you don't pay for shipping with this, never mind, haha. But if you want it shipped with your other package, I can do that. I wasn't thinking that you guys do your order with this one, so there is no shipping with this one. But if you would like it combined with Christine's shipment, let me know. Also, technique class, you have until next week, Wednesday the 18th, to get in on the rub-on class. So I think, what else do I have coming up? I have the scrapbook page that obviously is not done yet. I have Morning Create coming up at the end of the month, where we'll kind of do a little 4th of July fun. And then I'm going to be doing my very first on my own bingo. I haven't done bingo with Christine probably since the very beginning when we were doing them. That was Bella's favorite thing to do. She loved, and I don't know if it's because Chris gave her a microphone and she loved that microphone so much, and she would call those numbers off, and she loved it. And she's been begging me to do a bingo for a very long time. And when Chris approached and asked if I would substitute teach bingo, I said yes. So hopefully Bella can join us. I'm not sure. She may be taking on a job, but we'll see. And so that is going to be 4th of July bingo. So that'll be patriotic also. So reach out if you guys want any details on any of that. In the meantime, though, have a fabulous weekend, and thank you for joining me while we scrapped and stamped our hearts out tonight. And like I said, I think I'm back next week. Oh, maybe I'm not back next week. I think everything is the last week in June there. So I think Scrapbook class is the 25th and Morning Crate is on the 30th and bingo is on the 26th. So that'll be here in the Hive. So you got any questions, reach out. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Thanks, everyone.